something subtle is happening in your head right now. An invisible tension, pulling at your attention. It's why you remember an unfinished show better than 10 finished ones. And here's the strange part. Your brain uses more energy tracking unfinished things than it would take to actually finish them. In the 1920s, a Russian psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik was sitting in a cafe in Vienna when she noticed something odd. The waiter had an incredible memory for unpaid orders. He could rattle off every dish, every drink, for a dozen tables at once without writing anything down. But the moment a table paid their bill, it was like the information evaporated. Ask him what those people ordered 5 minutes later, and he'd have no idea. Zeigarnik became obsessed with this. She designed an experiment. She gave people a series of simple tasks, puzzles, crafts, small challenges. But here's the key. She let half the participants finish and interrupted the other half right before completion. Then she asked everyone to recall what they'd been working on. The people who were interrupted remembered nearly twice as many details, not because they tried harder, because their brains hadn't been given permission to let go. This is the Zeigarnik Effect. When you start a task, your brain opens a cognitive file. It allocates attention, working memory, and a background process that keeps checking. Is this done yet? Is this done yet? That process doesn't turn off when you walk away. It keeps running, like a browser tab you forgot to close, quietly draining your battery. And here's what makes it worse. Your brain doesn't distinguish between important tasks and trivial ones. Responding to that text message occupies the same mental slot as finishing your thesis. Both are incomplete loops. Both generate the same low-level anxiety. Both sit there, humming in the background, stealing focus from whatever you're trying to do right now. Think about the last time you couldn't fall asleep because you suddenly remembered something you forgot to do. That's not you being paranoid. That's your brain screaming that it has an open file it doesn't know how to close. The tension isn't coming from the task itself. It's coming from the fact that you started it and didn't finish it. Your brain interprets incompletion as a threat to your goals, and it will keep reminding you until you resolve it, or until something forces it to shut up. But here's where it gets interesting. Finishing the task isn't the only way to quiet your brain. You can also close the loop by making a clear external plan. In the early 2000s, psychologists E.J. Masi-Campo and Roy Baumeister tested this. They gave people an unfinished task, then split them into two groups. One group did nothing. The other group spent 2 minutes writing out a specific plan for when and how they'd finish the task later. Then both groups were asked to do something completely unrelated. The people with no plan couldn't focus. The unfinished task kept intruding. But the people who'd made a plan? Cognitive silence. Their brain stopped nagging them. Not because the task was done, but because the brain had been given proof that the loop would eventually close. This is why to-do lists work. It's not about remembering what to do. It's about convincing your brain that you haven't abandoned something, that there's a plan, that the loop isn't just dangling in space forever. But here's the problem. Most people don't close the loop. They just let tasks pile up, half-started, vaguely intended, generating a constant hum of background static. And they wonder why they can't concentrate, why they feel tired even when they haven't done much, why their mind feels cluttered. It's because their brain is tracking dozens of invisible debts, and every single one is pulling focus. Some tasks don't matter, but your brain won't know that unless you decide. A vague "I'll do it Sunday" keeps the loop open and drains attention. A clear "I'm not doing this" closes it. The mental noise stops. That's the difference between procrastination and abandonment. Procrastination is leaving a task unfinished while pretending you'll return to it. Your brain doesn't buy it, so it keeps nagging. Abandonment is a conscious decision to drop the task, and the cognitive load disappears. You can also use this deliberately. Starting a task opens a loop. Even 5 minutes is enough. Once it's open, your brain wants to close it. That unfinished tension becomes momentum. Writers use this by stopping mid-sentence, so when they return, their mind is already pulling them back in. The Zeigarnik Effect explains why Netflix cliffhangers are so brutal, why you can't stop thinking about an argument that ended badly, why you refresh your email obsessively waiting for a reply. Unfinished business doesn't fade quietly. It nags and intrudes. It occupies space in your head until you close the loop, or until exhaustion finally shuts it down. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. track what matters, hold on to what's incomplete, and remind you until it's resolved. The problem is, modern life hands you more open loops than any human brain was designed to handle. But now you know what's happening, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And speaking of things your brain does without asking permission, checking your phone. There's a reason you keep checking your phone even when you know there's nothing new. It's not boredom or addiction. It's a specific calculated trap. And once you understand how it works, every notification will feel different.